So the first thing we're going to talk about are legato studies. Okay, this is really, really, really important. The strength of your fretting hand. Okay, absolutely crucial. I always hear from people, I have a problem with my third finger, or I don't use my pinky very often. Now, I am not going to be the person that tells you, if you don't use your pinky and you've been playing for 30 years, now you have to use your pinky, or I don't know what's going to happen. That's not true at all, okay? What I am going to do is give you suggestions, though, on things that may help you. If your pinky is weak or your third finger doesn't work very well, it's because you are a human being, not because you are you. We all have the same problems. But the more we practice these things, the better they're going to get. We just have to overcome the frustration. Because believe me, when you start practicing some of these things, some of the problems that you have with your fingers or your picking or whatever it might be are going to come to the surface, and that's a good thing. It might be frustrating, and you might look at that and go, that sucks, and I get all that, man. I understand frustration, but the truth is that that's a good thing, because then we can look at those things and go, is this a problem that we want to tackle? Or is this a problem that we can deal with the way that we play? Because we can't solve everything, right? We can't do everything. But what we can do is look at the battles that we need to overcome and go, okay, I'm going to tackle that one. And I'm not going to take on that one, at least not yet. I'm going to take on that one. So that's what we're going to do right now. So let's go ahead and take a look at legato and what legato really means. Okay, legato is the strength of each one of your fingers, both independently and collectively with other fingers. So as you go to the guitar and start playing, and you know this from the songs that you've played or scales that you've played or solos that you've tried to play, either your fingers aren't fast enough or they're not strong enough or you get tired or whatever the case may be. Now, usually what happens is because we're humans, we have this all or nothing mentality. We try and play something and it doesn't work and we go, I suck, I can't do this, blah, blah, blah. Instead of trying to look at the problem and go, it's not that, what is the problem? What exactly is the problem and how can I overcome this problem? And for me, what I find with a lot of players is it isn't that none of their fingers work. It's that some of their fingers don't work as well as other fingers, but they're not really thinking of it that way. Now, the problem all the way around with fingers and everything else is that you might have long fingers, you might have short fingers. You might have stubby fingers, you might have super skinny fingers. We're all different that way. Right now, I have very small hands. I can almost guarantee you my hands are smaller than yours. Okay? But that never got in my way of playing. I always looked at my taller friends and people with long fingers and went, I'm not going to allow that to be a roadblock for my playing. I'm going to learn how to do these things. And I did. Now, it did require me to use a lot of my pinky to be able to do a lot of these stretches and things where maybe somebody with longer fingers doesn't have to use the pinky as much. I use the pinky all the time. It's very, very important to me. So I had to develop that, okay? As I get older, I've got arthritis in my hand, okay? So I have to work with that. So there are certain things that I do for warm-ups and things like that, and we're going to talk about that a little bit. To kind of get you ready, okay? So just think about that a little bit as we keep going down this path and you start doing some of these things and you get a little bit frustrated. So enough of my yakking here. Let's go ahead and get to the lesson.